So I've been meaning to talk about Iran for some time, but just as I get ready to make a video, the shit that I'm thinking is about to happen happens. And the whole thing's just so boring. And this whole dog and pony show is just so fucking annoying. More so the fact that people just fall for it and go along with it. It's just so frustrating. But anyway, be that as it may, let's just get into it and try to make it quick.
Are you aware of a CIA psychological profile about you, sir?
No, I must admit that it's
Genuinely surprised and, well, tickled, right? Impressed?
the first time I hear that.
Truly?
Yes? What is it?
Flattered, I would even say.
Would you be interested in hearing what the CIA had to say?
Yes, why not?
Really?
Yes, why not?
I have your permission?
Yes, sure.
You won't send me to the Savak if I ask?
Oh, this smarmy, smug slimeball of an interviewer, right? Whenever there's a hegemon that other hegemons, or a would-be hegemon, or somebody with hegemonic imperial ambitions, right, that other hegemons don't like, they write this in their media, right? They push this human rights abuses narrative in order to justify bringing them down, okay? Now, I'm not here to defend the Shah's regime and say that, they didn't have their own Guantanamo Bay, or that they didn't send illegal immigrants without trial to a far away, Latin American high security prison, the likes of which they're building in at least one other Latin American country. So watch what you say, slave. Right, I'm not here to defend the Shah or whatever, but well, gee, what about that genocide in Gaza? If we're on the topic of human rights abuses, right? We're cool with that, right? So spare me, you know what I mean? Spare me the fucking nonsense.
No, I would spare you this terrible ordeal of going through torture.
This secret study portrays the Shah as a brilliant but dangerous megalomaniac who is likely to pursue his own aims in disregard of U.S. interests.
So how could I?
So not a puppet, right? How secret is this study? This fucking clown got a hold of it. How dare he pursue his own interests and not the interests of the United States? How dare he? That's the problem. That was the problem. The Shah had risen the standard of living, liberalized Iran, had raised the standard of living, I don't know, tenfold or more than that, grew their GDP by hundreds of times, and had the world's fifth most powerful military. Red flag after red flag after red flag. And most importantly, and this is something Alexander Dugin had said of Poland, or Polish political class. I think he's wrong, but it's what he said, right? The blood of empires runs through their veins. That's why the Soviet Union had to take 40,000 of Polish intelligentsia, military leaders, politicians, shoot them in the back of the head and throw them in the ditch. Okay? Now when it comes to, you want to talk about empires. When it comes to Persia, right? With a history that's thousands of years old, and a history as an empire for at least hundreds, if not also thousands of years. Hegemon in the region, right? You think the blood of empires runs through these people's veins, especially the royal family? That's why he had to be gotten rid of. That's why the United States, who was, an ally to them supposedly, just like Russia to Iran, some kind of an ally, right? Stepped away, washed their hands, the United States, clean of Iran, while France and Germany, was it? Or France and Great Britain stepped in and got rid of them, right? While Russia, China, definitely Israel, right? All these states, people that ran those states, they, in my opinion, basically made a pact to get rid of this guy. Because he was a problem for all the other would-be or current hegemons. That's it. That's all that it was. He made Iran, he used Iran's potential to its fullest to grow it and become a huge power. And it was a problem for everybody involved. This man didn't have U.S. interests at heart, according to the CIA. So we had the, human rights abuses dog and fucking pony show. He had his, how dare he have his own Guantanamo Bay? Whoop-de-doo. And since then, in my opinion, what they did, especially Mossad, CIA, Western intelligence services, is basically installed, if not entirely their own puppets in Iran. They supported the type of government that would justify going in there periodically and destroying their economy. Gee. I mean, what's... This is so fucking stupid. I feel like dirty even talking about it. I feel stupid having to even... wanting to talk about this. So, we know what a successful model for building a powerful state, nation state is. We know what the model is, right? Whether you brainwash your people or you give them to want what you want them to want, or you just fulfill their own indigenous, if you will, original desires, right? In order to become a powerful state, you have to pacify the people. Make them happy is even better, right? Iran already knows what this model is. Russia runs a similar model, right? It's failing now, but China has that model. U.S. definitely ran that model. You got to make your people happy, whether it is you telling them what makes them happy and then you're giving that to them, or you just give them what they think they want or what they do want. And then they'll fucking fight for you. They'll fill your military. They'll defend you. They'll happily go to work and make you a rich, powerful country. Okay? You don't beat them down, tell them what they have to wear, suppress their desires, urges, wants. That's not everybody knows this. So they installed this crazy radical party, supported it in Iran, that would... the West implemented a failed state government, I want to say nation building political party, but it's the opposite, right? The kind of model they installed in Iran is that of a failed state. Okay? There's no half intelligent person in the world who thinks that what the Islamic revolution, or whatever the fuck they're called, the model that they're employing is going to be a successful one. That's retarded. And clearly Israel and Western intelligence services are deeply embedded in Israel, because they can take out whoever the fuck they want, seemingly, and they brag about it, like even their supreme leader, in the middle of the night while they're safely sleeping in their own apartments, in their own fucking beds. They could just precision strike, take them out. Clearly they're in there, just like they're in Gaza and in Hamas. If they could deliver 4,000 or whatever the fuck it was, self-detonating pagers to all the Hamas warriors, soldiers in Gaza, I mean, come on, man, they're in there. They're pulling the strings to a very, very large degree. It just is what it is, right? They brag about being able to take out their supreme leader 140-pound, 80-year-old man that moves about as fast as a turtle. Well, unless he's, using some of that high tech they got. If they could find this little dude, right? They know where he is. They could take him out whenever they want to. They can't find fucking thousands of pounds or whatever the fuck it is of enriched uranium. That somehow slipped through our fingers. Oops. This is such a fucking dog and pony show. It's so frustrating. So you got this political party, right? That, and I understand some of this probably is taken out of context, or it's Western propaganda. Fair enough. But if it is, why isn't the Republic, whatever the fuck they're called, Islamic Republic, why aren't they actively fighting the propaganda and saying, no, we love Israel, right? If you're building a nuke to wipe Israel off the map, this is the story, right? Well, don't fucking announce it to the world. Maybe, I'm just saying, right? But no, they announce it to the world. They bang on about it all the damn time, how they want to wipe Israel off the map, while they're giving every signal to the world indicating that they're building a nuke. So they're basically communicating, we're building a nuke to wipe Israel off the map. Oh, okay. When you don't fucking need that. Iran, if they're truly allies with China, like they're telling us they are, right? These people don't have allies. It's marriages of convenience that could be broken off at any point, right? But if China were to support Iran with technology, but more so manufacturing base, and give them some, decent, just enough of decent, not even that great rockets, but enough of them, even just drones. Iran with volume would completely overwhelm their iron yarmulke and wipe Israel off the map, okay? Easily. If they just had access to, allegedly, their allies' manufacturing base. Russia fucking washed their hands clean of them. All these hegemons made a deal. Just like they made a deal way back in the day to get rid of the Shah. We're going to bring Iran down a peg, while at the same time using them to bring the United States down a peg. These are just all marriages of convenience. And China won't support Iran in destroying Israel because Israel is supplying China with technologies, military ones especially. R&D, baby. So anyway, you know what I mean? If you want to wipe Israel off the map, you don't announce that while giving every indication that you're building a nuke. Okay, you don't do that. If you want to destroy Iran's, centrifuges and nuclear capabilities, you don't fucking announce the strike to the world on national TV 2 weeks or so before it happens. President Trump, wow, what a great geopolitical military strategist. You know what I mean? So they're fucking loading up trucks, outside of this Fordo or whatever the fuck it's called place. Gee, what are they putting on these trucks? A week before, so it gets, bombed by the United States. And, it's just these tons and tons of uranium and all these centrifuges that took like 100 trucks to move. Just slipped through our fingers, but, we could take out their 140-pound fucking soaking wet Supreme Leader whenever we want to. But tons and tons of uranium slipped through our fingers. And you got this dog and pony show on U.S. media, the left and the right bickering. Yeah, we got it. No, you didn't. It's just like, oh my God. So this is so simple, right? Whether Iran is building a nuke or not, I don't think so. Look, it's a lot more complicated than that. Sure, the scientists maybe believe that is what they're doing, and some of the lower level guys believe that it's, you got to convince these people to do your bidding, right? But ultimately, at the end of the day, when it comes to those people who really pull the levers, right? whether it's the puppets that are within Iran or Israel or everybody else, right? They're not going to let them get a nuke, period, because they're in there. They're deeply embedded in there, and they're going to just build up this boogeyman so they could keep bombing the fuck out of them. And while they're destroying their, nuclear facilities, because God forbid Iran should have nuclear power, right, which would diversify their energy source and help them prosper. While they're, destroying their nuclear capacity, they're gonna, bomb some refineries, by the way, because that's how Iran gets their money, right? So this isn't about an existential threat to Israel. This is about justifying Israel's march east, expansion, Israel's role as a regional hegemon, growing in power. And in order for Israel to do that, obviously, any would-be hegemons, any political elites with blood of empires running through their veins have to be eliminated. They have to be controlled. They have to implement the failed state model there while growing their own influence and power. That's it. So this fucking WMD dog and pony show, we've done this before. We've been through this before. We know how this shit goes. Okay? This is so stupid. I'm gonna go take a fucking shower.